And today, this morning, we're going to be installing the LED Kingdom rear bumper. This is a stout bumper. The very first thing, before we get to the product, the box came with no rips and no damage to it. And I just, of course, ripped it and opened it all when I got it. That's what you see there. But the box, surprisingly, this thing is really heavy. 80 pounds probably. I can barely lift it. So luckily he's on his way and we're both going to tackle this install. It did not come with any chipped edges, anything like that. And it has built-in LEDs, which you could use for anything you want. Built-in hooks that we screwed in. Now I'm not sure if you'll keep these for now because they might be rattling a bit. But you know, you just unscrew them right out. So we can decide what he wants to do on that. And maybe even get colored ones or matching ones instead at some point. But I was actually impressed because of the price point of this thing. I think it was under $300, I believe. And I wasn't really expecting it to be this high of quality. And it does look very high quality. The finish looks really, really good. And along the back, a couple brackets we're going to be figuring out. Now, it did not have directions, so we are going to be kind of making the instructional video. So now I understand you're basically going to have four main bolts, and of course it did come with some nice hardware, all the proper hardware. Hopefully we have it all. And this would be the tow hook reinforcement for 4 more bolts toward the top to make sure that this thing is solid. So now it does make sense. Alright, so the first thing is probably easiest. Just pull off your muffler. Make everything easier to get to. The very first thing we're doing is 4 bolts across the back here for this tow unit, and this may be a stock unit, it may not, but usually you're just going to have your 4 bolts along the back. We're going to get this out of here and then see what we got to do with the regular bumper. Alright, we got the stock tow piece off here. It's 4 bolts just like that. Working on some of the outside side stuff, and gonna drill out this little trailer electronic hitch right here. It's riveted. Get rid of that for now just to get it out of our way, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, we did get the bumper off. So what we had was little Z brackets kind of here, sort of there, up into the top. We finally realized these are sliders here, like this. So your bolts are going to go right through, anchor it real solid, and we're just going to simply put bolts through into these nuts, and it's going to lock itself in place with this huge metal sheet here in the tube. So we're going to continue and pretend this didn't happen. Alright guys, the sides did go pretty good. We just kind of use a couple people, hold it there, start it right into those plates we just showed you. And they tighten pretty nice. Make sure you start them all by hand. Don't use a gun or nothing. And now that we're hanging on all 4 edges, we're going to work on the middle next and do that little toe in the 4-piece bar right there, which will pull the whole thing up a little bit better, and then we'll see where we sit.
The small bolts going on the sides.
Alright guys, so you're lucky that we're making this install video for you, so everybody will know how to do it after this. We use the long bolts on the sides, which now that you think about what we just showed you is incorrect, because we were thinking they go through the whole frame, and of course they don't. So we needed the long bolts for the middle, and we don't have them, so we got to swap all these long bolts out on the sides for the small ones. We're making progress. Remember, we had no directions whatsoever, so we're just figuring it out. We're almost there, guys. 4 bolts went in real nice. Check that out. Everything looks good. It's pretty straight. We're going to temporarily tie the LEDs up for now. Not going to do that part today. And overall, from everything we taught you, install went pretty sweet. It looks really sweet. We'll show you a final result in a bit when we're done. Alright, in standard Last Human style, we got these wires tied up super clean for later use for these LEDs, and they'll be nicely protected under that bumper. And we're doing final tightening, and we're about ready to finish up. Alright guys, we're just Doing the final touches here. Yeah, was it about an hour and a half? I thought it seemed like about 2.5, 3. But hour and a half ain't bad for the bumper. So we're just putting on the spare tire. I think everything's cleaned up. We got the muffler, exhaust back on. And we're pretty much done. We'll pull it out in the light just to show you when we're all done. Got a couple other things to finish up first. And overall, good install. Of course, you won't be cutting any of that stuff or using the wrong bolts like we did. But, yeah. But no issues with the product. Everything fit just like it should if we just knew how it was supposed to be installed. So we're all good. Looks super sweet. We'll show you a final view in a little bit. Alright guys, final reveal. My battery's on 0, but let's just grab it real quick before my battery dies. Check that out. Super tough. Really goes good with those rear tail lights. Let me get you a close-up, which are aftermarket. And look at that compared to that faded old plastic piece of crap and this super tough looking one. We'll get these lights later, as we said. Nice bumper. LED Kingdom US. Link will be right down here if you want to look at it. For under $300, it's a killer deal.